Hi fans, here is the video, the first video that I promised you. Now I'm going to try to put out more, however, things are getting really strange. And I mean that in multiple ways, and I don't want to get into it in this video, but I may have to move, and that's not going to be easy given my financial situation. But I don't really feel like there's a lot of choice in the matter. So, yeah, it's not ideal. But I want to give you the information about these 5 fans. I'm not going to be doing anything in the way of testing. I've already done the testing. I'll explain briefly what I did. So I used my anemometer to evaluate the airflow, because out of the, 8 people I think that voted, almost all of you voted for me to start with airflow. Yeah, 8 people isn't really enough, but oh no, it's not 8 people, it's 5. I need more participation, folks. But anyways, so I used this, and I put in the for the I'm sorry, it's really late, and I'm trying to get this done so I can go to sleep, but it's after my bedtime, and I didn't get enough sleep last night, and the night before, and the night before, and the night before, and that's your fault, because I'm always trying to get stuff done. And then there's my anxiety. But anyways, get back to this topic here. Stop interrupting me, please. So you have to enter the area that is being measured within, or used to measure within. And so what I did is I took my Noctua A12x25, and I used that as a baseline. Now, and so I got this as close as I could to the results for the Noctua. That's fine until you get to really high levels of airflow and static pressure, because any errors become exaggerated the farther away you go from that baseline, from that starting point. So unfortunately, I am fairly certain that the results are not necessarily the greatest, but I'm doing what I can with the materials that I've got available to me. So this is my anemometer. This is for measuring velocity and airflow. It also measures humidity and dew point and wet bulb humidity, relative humidity, as well as temperature. And then the other one is this one here. And this is my laser RPM tachometer. It's very simple. You just point and you wait a while, and it gives you the number. But you have to have reflective tape that it can actually react to, because I've tried other things. I've tried special markers and stuff like that, and none of that works. Now, every once in a while, randomly, it'll actually register RPMs, but I don't know why. So it's pretty frustrating, especially since I lost my reflective tape. So I haven't been able to pursue evaluating RPMs anymore, because, well, you may be thinking, well, why not? Don't you just have to use your fan controllers? And that would be true, except for I've got a bunch of fans that only have 2 pins, and some of the fans only use USB, and some fans only use the wall socket. So none of those are going to work with my fan controllers in terms of getting the information. I need at least 3 pins to get the tachometer reading. And for some fans, the fan controller that I've got from Zalman, which is I forgot what the name the model number is. It is ZM-MFC3. Unfortunately, that controller only shows the maximum RPMs. And so you just kind of have to manually, and it's a very inconvenient, very non-intuitive or unintuitive, anti-intuitive way of handling the altering of the RPMs. You know, I wish they would give it a little bit more thought, because it's awkward. You can do it, it's just awkward. And it takes far too long. If they had put in 2 controllers instead of 1, that would have made a huge difference. But no, Zalman, you couldn't do that, could you? Okay, so the first fan is the Gui-And-Jing, which is actually 2 names, Gui-And-Jing. When I first looked at it, I started laughing, because in Indonesia, if you were to spell the word dog in the old 1972 Dutch spelling for the Indonesian language, it would be spelled anjing. So at first I looked at that, I was like, that can't be it. And then I was like, well, maybe GUI is GUI, graphical user interface. But I was like, yeah, this is Chinese. It's probably Gui-And-Jing. And it turned out that, yes, it is Gui-And-Jing. And when I looked a little bit closer. Now, I don't want to order any more products from Gui-And-Jing, because I've had 2 from my donor, and both of them were wrong. Now, my donor says, oh, it's our fault, because, we sent you the wrong thing, but they came from China. So this is what was listed. It was shipped from China, and my donor's trying to take the blame for it, and my donor isn't in China. So, yeah, after 2 attempts to get the right fan from them, I have given up, and especially because it is hard to find the specs for the fan, because on the fan there is actually a model number. And this one is model number GAJDH12025B. And this is what it looks like. I mean, it's their brand, but or at least they're buying somebody else's product and then putting their label on it, which is what most companies that sell fans do. And this also comes with a couple of grills, and it comes with long bolts with nuts, so you can attach the grills to the fan on both sides, as well as mounting it on the case or whatever it is you're mounting it on. Now, so I don't have any specifications really for this fan, but I can tell you this. When I checked minimum and maximum, now you have to keep in mind here that when I say minimum, that doesn't mean it's a safe minimum. Okay, it means the minimum I could get it to go. So the range that I found for RPMs on this was 302.9. So we'll just say 303, all the way up to 3,129. So yeah, it's not a wimpy fan. I can't tell you a lot about it because I honestly don't know much about it. It's 120 by 25, and it's got 7 blades, but there's not a lot I can tell you about it. Now, it does have a 60,000 hour MTBF or lifespan. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just reading this crap to you, I'm going to actually show you it. I'm not going to show you the static pressure because we're not. Well, no, I'll show you the static pressure. That's okay. There's no reason not to. So none of these have a published minimum specification, and these are different kinds of fans. They're not all like this one. This is this is PWM, right? Now the next one I'm going to show you is the JMC, and I have to say thank you to the vendor because I was having problems rewiring this so that I could actually plug it in and use it. And I contacted the vendor, and they weren't able to give me the right instructions so that I could actually get this fan to turn. So they sent me one. And then I used that fan to rewire the original one so that they both work. So I've got two fans, and I asked, do you want me to return this? And they were like, no. Maybe I should. I guess I should try to offer to pay them. I feel like that would be a good idea. So I probably will do that. This was recently that I accomplished this. I had the fans for quite a while, and I just kind of set it aside because it's anxiety, or maybe you don't know. Well, anyways, this is a 3-pin fan, and the connector, while it will fit on a standard 3 or 4-pin header, is not a standard connector. So this is some kind of JST connector. It looks like a connector they would use at Corsair for some of their fans, especially for LEDs, ARGB and stuff. So that's the second one. The third one is regrettably they didn't bother to put the two wires together. This is a 2-pin using a JST connector. And what else? Oh, this is an IP68. Now, IP68 means it is fairly dustproof and very waterproof. So it goes from 0 or X, usually X, to 9 for both of them. The first number is for dust. The second number is for water. So 6 is like really pretty good. If you actually look it up and you see the testing that they use for each rating, it's kind of intense, actually. So the 8 is like really, really waterproof. And if you look at this, you can see they've sealed this to make sure it is an 8. And if you look in the crack here, you can't see the bearings or anything inside. You can't see the windings or whatever. It's totally sealed up, which is obviously good. This one comes with 2 grills, and also it's got the bolts and the nuts. Okay, so that's the first 3, and I don't want these falling off my desk, so I'm going to close these up. Because when your fans fall, bad things happen sometimes. I don't like the fact that they did not put these wires together. It's annoying. But whatever, Wathai. At least it's waterproof and dustproof. Okay, so this is WDERAir. Or WDERAir. No, WDERAir. So this is a USB fan. So it only runs on 5 volts instead of the 12 volts that the others. Let's see, that's 12 volts, that's 12 volts. And yeah, they're all 12 volts. The JMCs are actually a replacement fan for Dell PowerEdge 2300, 2400, 2800. And yeah. All right, so you can either connect it directly to USB, or you can use the included switch controller that has low, medium, and a high and off, of course. And with this particular one, oh wait, no, it's not this particular one. There's another. Oh, wait. Yes. No. There's another one that allows you to daisy chain fans, but not this one. So you would plug the supposed male into the supposed female. They're kind of androgynous, really, or what's the opposite of androgynous? I forgot what it's called now. They don't like the word hermaphrodite. It's kind of male and female. Okay? And so this is limited with this to 3 speeds plus off, Without this, it's limited to 1 speed unless you have software that can actually take control of this thing through the USB, which is possible. And this also comes with 2 grills and the bolts and nuts. Now, some of these don't have model numbers. So like the Wathai is just the IP68, and the WDERAir is just the 12025 USB 3-speed. And the Gui-And-Jing, yeah, I gave you that one. And the JMC is the 1225-12HBA. Also, it's 120-26611-4. And finally, we have the, oh, good Lord, WGMHEFUN. So WGMHEFUN. Probably saying it the wrong way. I don't know what it means. It could be that part of it is like the city that this company is located in. So like if you look at WDERAir's full name, it's Shenzhen WDERAir Technology Company Limited. They're all company limited at the end. So Shenzhen is the city, and the full name of every Chinese company starts with the city name. I think that's the law. I'm not really sure though. If you're Chinese, can you please let me know if that's correct or not, that every company name has to start with the city that it's in? I mean, that's kind of practical, but I don't know. Okay, I did not know find out what the full name of this company is, but yeah. So it is also not labeled as far as a model number beyond 12025. So it's these companies don't seem to see the point of using model numbers, which some of the big named companies don't put the model number on their fans either, which is really irritating, but whatever. I write it on the box. So now we're going to actually look at the information that I have for you, and hopefully this will prove useful for you as the very first release. Oh, no, I didn't want that. Sorry, I'm just trying to... Dang it. Hold on a second. I got to do something real quickly. Sorry, I had to just realign things a little bit there. And we're going to get this one going. There we go. All right, so we can see them listed all. Company names here and the model numbers here. I don't always have a link for them. Like the Gui-And-Jing, of course, I don't have a link for because I could not find anything about it on the internet. If you happen to find it, let me know. And sometimes this Google Sheets deletes links when I do certain things. Like sometimes if I add text, the whole link will just disappear. I think I can get the link for the WGM blah blah HEFUN or HEFUN. Maybe it's HEFUN. Okay, so we can see that with the exception of the Gui-And-Jing, of course, that we have a maximum RPM listed for each of them, 2400, 2000, and both of the last two are 2500. And then for the minimums, we can see we've got 303. JMC is 370.4. Then WDERAir is at low speed is 1420.6, and at medium speed is 1702.6. Then for the Wathai, it is I want to say Wathai 581.8. Let's see. And then for the WGMHEFUN, its low speed is 2022, medium speed is 2177.6 without the grill. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. It's not low and medium. The first number is with the grill on, and the second number is with the grill off. And that is because I noticed when I was testing this one that the grill is made of plastic. I don't think I showed you guys that, did I? Hold on a second. Let me just backtrack a second here. So this is a crappy grill. My suggestion is if you buy this fan, take this off. It comes off very easily. Throw it in the garbage and use one of the metal grills I showed you, because this impedes airflow a lot. It also makes the fan have to work harder to do the same job. And, you don't want to burn out your fan faster, right? Now, I cannot talk to you about the quality of the fan because, number one, I'm not going to rip apart my fans to discover what's on the inside. Number two, I'd have to spend a significant amount of time, maybe years, I'm not really sure, learning enough about the guts of a fan and how to identify good quality ingredients, I guess you could say, or components from bad ones, and so on and so forth. And that's just way deeper than I'm willing to go. The alternative is to leave these running nonstop and see how long, or to cycle them on and off over and over again. But I'm not going to do that either because, number one, it's going to take a really long time. If you look at the number of hours these fans last, 60,000 hours, for example, how long is that going to last? Well, let's do a little bit of math here. I'll get my calculator open. So 60,000 hours divided by 24, that's 1 day, is 2,500 days divided by 365 days, ignoring leap years, of course. We're talking about somewhere in the area of 6.8 years. So no, I'm not going to run these things for 6.8 years to find out how long they'll last. That's just, I don't even have the space to do something like that. So I hope you can appreciate that I'm not going to do that. Okay, so 2022 with the bad grill and 2,177.6 with the good grill. Or sorry, without the grill. And then if we look at the maximum RPMs, the Gui-And-Jing goes up to 3,129. The JMC goes up to 2,665. Oh, and by the way, I didn't do it for the JMC and the Shenzhen WDERAir, and I have got actually. Oh no, not the just for the JMC. I have two fans, so I have two numbers and I average them out. So that's why if you look at the little bar where you type in the function or the data, you can see there are two numbers there. And I got two very different results. All right. And so 2665 and the WDERAir is 1930.1 and the Wathai is 2561.9. And then with the stupid grill, the HEFUN is 2775.2. Without the grill is 2819.5. It's amazing how that affects things so much. And then for the airflow, I don't know about for the Gui-And-Jing and for the JMC. It's supposed to be 66 for the WDERAir, 70 for the Wathai, and 51 for the HEFUN. The actual results that I got, lows and highs, okay, is 31.2 up to 196.2. Now, again, keep in mind, I tried to calibrate this, but I can't actually open it up and calibrate it internally. I don't have a calibration tool, even if I could open it up and calibrate it internally. So the higher the numbers go, the more likely it is that they're wrong, okay? But yeah, 196.2. Now, since they're all wrong on the same scale, they're all comparable to each other. They're just not comparable to the real world numbers, all right? Unfortunately, until I can get a better product. I do have another anemometer. I just don't know if it's more accurate. And it doesn't have an area field for me to enter the area. Then the JMC has an average of 47.7 up to 274.2. So the JMC beats the Gui-And-Jing. But the Gui-And-Jing is waterproof. Oh, wait, no, that's the WDERAir. Wathai. Yeah, sorry. There was supposed to be a waterproof Gui-And-Jing, but I can't tell if it's waterproof or not. It doesn't look like the Wathai. And then for the Shenzhen, the airflow on low was 126.6 and medium was 157.2. And then on high it was 177.6. Now, I should point out, my fault, my bad. If you pay attention, and it's kind of hard to do that because these are squished together, but traditionally a lot of companies use CFMs, which since most of the things that companies use are in metric, I think is really stupid to go with CFMs. So I switched to CMHs. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Should I stick with CFMs, convert all these numbers to CFMs? Should I stick with CMM? Because what my anemometer measures is in CMMs or CMSs, which is seconds, or CFMs, and then I think there's knots as well. But obviously knots are not going to be useful for us because we're not sailing on the ocean or on a lake. CMS is not going to be useful for us because that's too small. So I either can stick with the CMH or I can go with the CMM, which is cubic meters per minute, which is a small number, which is one of the reasons why I went with CMH. Because CMH, I guess you could say, is more expressive. I'm not really sure of the right word to use right now. I'm losing my language. But yeah, so please don't get confused between the published specs and the specs that I'm showing you. They're two different units of measurement, okay? And that'll be that way unless I get a lot of comments from people saying, hey, only use CFM, or hey, use CMM, or if enough people say CMH, that's fine too. If you say CMS or knots, I'm going to say no. So you have three choices: CFM, CMM, or CMH. All right, and I got distracted. That happens so easily. I've got a squirrel brain or something. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my throat. Probably allergies. All right, so then the Wathai is 38.4 up to 193.2, and then for the HEFUN is 163.8 with the grill, but 177 without the grill. And the maximum is 218.4 with the grill, but 244.2 without the grill. So we can see that the fan with the best airflow and thus the best candidate for exhaust on a case or on a heatsink or on a radiator is going to be the JMC. And then the second best is going to be the HEFUN, and then the tied are the Gui-And-Jing and the Wathai because they're virtually the same. I mean, 193.2, 196.2. It's not really a significant difference. And in last place, the weakest of the five in terms of airflow is the WDERAir. Okay, so I wish I could tell you more about this fan, but the only thing else that I want to talk to you about right now is, because I don't really have any static pressure figures for you, is this part over here. And so we can see that the noise levels, and I haven't yet, I'm still working on perfecting this. I got microphones, but unfortunately they are not compatible with a power supply. They're good microphones, and they work pretty much as well as this one does. And I have better control over it because I can control the gain with them, and they're wireless, so I can just sit it inside there. But the problem is they only have one channel when used with a computer. So the company said, we'll send you a replacement that is compatible with the computer, and you can keep the old ones. And hey, would you be interested in a kind of a partnership with us? So I'm going to look at what the partnership has in mind, or what they have in mind for a partnership with me, or not really a partnership, but a cooperative effort or whatever. So we'll see if that's going to be like what's going on with oh my gosh, my brain. Too tired. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so we'll see what whether this could be like what I do with Silverstone, which isn't really very much. I've gotten a case from them, and I think about half a dozen fans, and I bought many fans from them before the partnership even happened, or cooperative, whatever it is. Right. So if you are interested in a high airflow fan and you want the quietest one, we need to look at what we've got going on over here. Okay? So the quietest one is actually the HEFUN. And which one did I say was the best fan? The best fan was JMC, and the next one was HEFUN. Now, if we look, and that's without the grill, okay, on the HEFUN. And I have to say that if you look at the noise levels, then the HEFUN is even more appealing than the JMC, because whereas the HEFUN, even with the grill, is 32.2, but the JMC is 39.45. Now, what we don't know here is, as far as performances, is there a good reason for it? Like, for example, maybe the JMC has more static pressure, but we don't know at this point. But if you just need an airflow fan and you want an airflow fan that doesn't make a lot of noise, your best bet is going to be the HEFUN. And really, the second best bet would be and this is kind of unfortunate because it's the weakest of the five, it's at 32.5 decibels maximum, so that's the second choice. And then third choice is the Gui-And-Jing. So, but that's often the case. The higher the airflow and or the higher the RPMs and or the higher the pressure, the noisier a fan typically will be. Now, I will point out that for the other four fans in the HEFUN, I did not test them with the grills on. I assumed I wanted to just find out the bare specification without the influence of the grills, which I'm pretty sure the influence of the grills, except for the plastic crap, is not going to be significant. So if you have any questions or comments, this is the first release. If you want me to try to make graphs, I'm really bad at making graphs, to be quite frank with you. I could do something simple, I suppose, but it gives me a lot of stress and anxiety and causes me to stop working on a video because I get too anxious because it's been so long since I've made graphs, and I keep on forgetting how to make graphs. After I figure it out, I don't do it for a long time, and then I'm like, oh God, I gotta learn it again. It's a cycle. It's stupid. It's annoying, and hopefully my doctor will help me to get some better medication than what I've got right now, so that I can not live in this anxiety-driven state. Well, it's not driven, but it's influenced. So finally, thanks for the 5 people who actually voted on what priority to focus on, which was airflow. And thank you to the one donor that I have, Rudik. That's greatly appreciated that you continue to donate after all this time. I wish I had more donors. Please don't forget that the fundraising drive is still ongoing with the matching donations. So if you donate $50, my anonymous donor will also. Now, this is not the same donor as the one who gives me the parts. My anonymous donor will also match whatever you give. So up to a limit. There is a limit. I don't remember off the top of my head what the limit's going to be, or what the limit is. But if you donate, your donation will be matched by my anonymous donor. So if you have any questions, obviously not about the name of the donor because I can't release that information, then put them down in the comments. If you have comments, put them down in the comments. If you have suggestions, put them down in the comments. If you have rudeness, take a flying leap. I have no interest in it, and I'll just delete your and I'll put you into limbo so I never have to see your rudeness again. Just be nice, okay? I'm here to help people by providing them with a service that I am paying for virtually until I got this donor this year. Actually, I started in December, but until I got the donor starting in December, I paid for almost every single thing that you have seen on my channel and a lot of other things you haven't seen yet. I've got, 3 shelves of air coolers that you haven't seen and other things as well. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to stop babbling right now. Obviously, I'm too tired at a quarter after midnight. Thank you so much again, and have a great day or night, wherever you are. And if you're in Indonesia, selamat pagi. Need to ask for your help. I'm sorry. On December 11th, 2024, Amazon terminated me and used false accusations against me. And on December 17th, I had my left shoulder operated on. I'm getting a lot better. I can do some things with my hand and my arm, but it's still pretty limited. If you could please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications for my channels, that would really help. If you want to help me financially and you can afford to, you can go to my Glenn's Fast Reviews and you can do a super thanks as a donation there. If you want to donate on a monthly basis, you can become a member there. And or you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII. So thank you for that. Also, I'd like to say thank you to bleepingcomputer.com for allowing me to post messages on their forum about my videos. Thank you so much. And don't forget to visit them. They offer a lot of wonderful resources for people who are using computers. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.